Evening all, and welcome back to Kerbalism. So, we ended the last episode whilst we was waiting for construction to finish on our new moon station, so let's pick up where we left off. And 6 hours later, we are here. We're getting a lovely little eclipse of Kerbin just there. Moon behind the sun, awesome. And, the moon in front of the sun. That way around. And we can build our food pod and see what happens. I'm not entirely sure how this works. I've never used it before, so let's see here. Finalize build. Ooh, there was a big bang. Well, there was no kaboom, but that looks as if it did exactly what I wanted. There we are. It's not exactly rotated the way I expected it to be, but I don't care. It's on there. It's absolutely fine. Everything is awesome. We've got food and water tanks here. We've got ammonia tanks here, which are currently empty because, well, we don't have any ammonia. And you're empty of everything as well. No nitrogen, no nothing. I look things. So, yeah. That's going to be cool. Carbon dioxide is going to go up slowly over time. So we have the modules here. What we need to do now is bring up ammonia and CO2. It doesn't necessarily need nitrogen. It could do with some water as well. Don't think I can actually start any of these. Missing ammonia, yeah. It won't work till we get some ammonia. So we're going to have to send up some ammonia from Kerbin, because we can't mine that in space at all. I don't believe. There may be a way to do it to get it from the magic ore. I'm not too sure, but for now, that's how it goes. So we can extend these sort of things. So you can just do it that way. You don't have to build things, fly them around, plug it in there. Anyone that's used explanatory launch pads will know that's how it works anyway. But I've always used simple construction or something like that, which is a cut down version of it. So this is all new to me, and I like new. New is fun. So yeah, right. So what's next? Well, next is going to be two things. Firstly, this rocket here. This is going to take lots of ammonia, a bit more nitrogen, a bit more oxygen up to the moon base, just to top it off. So we've got bits and pieces there. I did also make a little discovery that the smelter produces lots of carbon dioxide when it's melting stuff. So that could be really, really useful for producing fuel up there, because I think carbon dioxide is a big problem there. Secondly, I've got a set of communication networks, communication satellites being built on the station at the moment. I'm going to put them in orbit at the moon, so the station and any probes we build, like this rocket is a probe, will have permanent coverage around the moon, so we haven't got to worry about losing them and things going terribly wrong. So, whilst we wait for the resource probe to come here with all our wonderful ammonia so we can get our food going, let's have a look at this comm system. There we go, right, okay. It's very simple. It's just three little probes with permanent things on them, so should be quite easy to do and quite easy to sort out. First and foremost, though, I want to make sure I deploy all their solar panels. It's just so much easier doing it via the Kerbalism menu there. Okay, and we want to activate that engine and point. Oh, they don't have any. Don't have prograde or retrograde. That's odd. Those probes should have that. Wonder if that's just a wonderful little bug of making this, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so to set up an orbit around the moon where all the probes can look at each other, you need to go to about 220,000 I think that's the sort of the optimal range. I don't know whether these antennas can do it. I didn't think about that. I don't know whether the antennas are the right ones for it, but I think they are. I think they are. They can go to sort of 3/4 of the way to Minmus, so they can talk to Kerbin. That's fine. So let's boost ourselves up nice and gently to about 220, 225. I want to try and get a nice round number. Put that thrust right back. 230 we'll go to, because that's good. That seems like a good number. There we go, 230, awesome. Because I've got to get them all roughly, their orbital period has to be roughly the same for them to sync up. If obviously it's wrong, then they're going to end up bunching up. You'll end up with one satellite catching another one. I've got to get them all to roughly, sort of, well, even 1 second can throw things out over decades of use, but, well, we'll be okay for that. But I think as long as I get 1 minute 30, then, well, actually I need to orbital, I need to circularize them first, so let's go and do that. Well, that took a lot longer than I had expected. It turns out I had to put them all up at 250k rather than 220. It was just a bit too tight for that. But yeah, at 250, they can all see each other. There's the 3 of them there. I do need to rename them because they're all named the same thing, but yeah, that one can see that one can see that one, and I think that one can definitely see that one. He says he's not too sure now. I shall go and have a check in just a moment. Let's rename these, shall we? Moon Comnet Relay Alpha. It's a relay, except. Okay, and go to that one. This one could be called Beta. Oh, a little too close. Rename Moon Combat Relay Beta. Is a relay, except prograde if you'd be so kind. There you go. And you. Ooh, you can't see the other one. That's interesting. Okay, so whilst I was setting up that final relay, obviously these have drifted apart. That's probably because that one's going slower. That's okay. That's okay. They don't need to see each other, but as you can see here, this moon station is talking to this one, and that is talking back to Kerbin. It could also talk to that one and talk back to Kerbin, so it's always got line of sight of 2 satellites for Kerbin. So if it can't talk directly, it can do that, which means I've got pretty much good coverage around the entire moon for when I want to land my automated driller, because that's the way I'm going to go with it. I'm going to put everything on the station, and we are going to then drill. We're going to send landers down to drill for water and drill for metal ore, bring them up to the station, and have it all done on the station. I am a little worried about part count on the station, but I think I'll be okay, providing I obviously use the construction port. If things start getting problems, I could look at trying to use like either the welding mod that I don't have installed, or because I have procedural tanks, instead of having, say, I've got 3 tanks of rocket parts at the moment, or 5, 6 tanks of rocket parts, I'll just have 1 big tank instead. So that's something that can be done later. Moon Combat Relay Alpha Beta Charlie. There we go. A, B, and C, and yeah, you can't actually see. Oh, you've. Turn on relays. Where do I have relays? There we go. Relays. You can't actually see that one. We do have another relay there apparently. Moonsat 1 is a relay. It's on a slightly lower orbit. That will probably cover a bit more. And then we've got one in a polar orbit. 2 in a polar orbit, in fact. So we've got the moon covered. We have definitely got the moon covered. Quickly jump to the moon station and have a look at where the actual relay hops are, just to make 100% sure. Oh, we don't need that open. Close that. Yep. Right. And moon fuel delivery is back. Let's Network. Oh no, right. First hop, path. Path is what I want. So that's going directly back to Kerbin for the minute. Okay, but when it goes around the dark side of the moon, it will be able to bounce around between the 3 days and other bits and pieces, so we'll be okay. We will definitely be okay. We've got 2 there. So, right. Okay. So, let's bring our ship up, which... Not a relay. In fact, I don't see where the ship is. Where is the ship? A lander? Nope. What is it? Turn them all on. That's the resource delivery that's supposed to be on its way to the moon. You know what I've done? Oh, of course, that would have only taken a day to get to the moon. It's taken me like 5 or 6 days to sort out the 3 days. So that's come to the moon, being grabbed by the moon's gravity, thrown into this high orbit, and yeah. Okay. Well, that's definitely an oops. I will go and see when that's going to encounter the moon again, and we'll see. Because it is just a probe, I'm not worried about any resources on it, so hopefully it will encounter the moon again at some point soon. So, the closest encounter I can get with the moon is if I do a manoeuvre in 5 orbits, which is 31 days, and then I will get an encounter in 35 days. So we can get to the moon station in a month because I messed up. But we have something else coming up before that. We have Asteroid GWA 103 coming up in 30 days, which I want to capture. And to do that, I need to get out to the edge of Kerbin's sphere of influence, wherever it's coming in from, over here somewhere, in 30 days. I'm not sure how long it takes to get to the edge of Kerbin's sphere of influence. Do I have... I forgot that's currently in orbit. We have Kerbin refueling station. Let's switch to that. And if we then tell this we want to produce a maneuver to make it go out to the edge of Kerbin's sphere of influence. There we go. Okay, it takes 21 days to get out of there. And it takes nearly 1,000 meters a second. We're going to need a lot more than that. We're going to need at least double that to get out there to make sure we can meet this asteroid. That's not exactly correct. That's obviously the asteroid's coming in from... I don't even know where. Where is it? There it is. The asteroid will be coming in... Is that the one? Yep, that's the one. It will be coming in from below. I'm going to have to go out that way, but it's the same sort of principle. I think we'll probably launch from the northern station for this one to get ourselves in a more polar orbit. Maybe that'll help. Not sure. Yeah, so it takes 21 days, which means if we've got 30 days to go, I've got 7 days to launch this craft and then send it out there. Because it needs to be prepared, it needs to be on the edge of Kerbin's sphere of influence when that asteroid comes in. It needs to chase the asteroid down, it needs to grab it, and it needs to put it into an orbit around Kerbin anyhow. Anyhow, I don't mind. As long as it can stay in Kerbin's sphere of influence, I don't mind. We can then figure out how to get it later. I think the best way to do this is going to be with ion engines. They're not very efficient, I know that, but they have a lot of thrust to them. They've got a lot of, with the Xenon power loss, a very long time. So if we fire it up with a nuclear reactor, lots of ion engines, we can slap it to the asteroid, we can, and tell it to burn and do 3 or 4 hour burns. It doesn't matter because we're not concerned about precision early on. to be honest with you, we're not worried about that. Once we get closer to Kerbin, we can bring it into somewhere within the moon sphere influence, I suppose, and then we can send another ship up and do it that way. That's the plan. And since it's so close, I think that's what I'm going to do next. I should probably set up a alarm clock for that, and then we'll build our ship, and in 7 days we shall launch it and go and grab this asteroid. So the time has come to launch our asteroid capture and go and capture our asteroid. We are launching from the Woomrang site, the northern one, so we can get into a better orbit, because the asteroid is going to come down from quite low and then come up close to us. I think it does actually, if I set it as target, it does come quite close to Kerbin, so I could really just go around and do it here, but then I'd be playing catch up a lot. I'd much rather go around and capture it back here somewhere. So I've got the option to fire the Xenon engines back here, try and slow it down. It doesn't look like it needs a lot slow down. It's probably going to be captured quite easily. But to get into that sort of orbit, I need to be firing. Well, if I fire east, I'm going to end up down. Where are we? Oh, there. It's wrong, Kerbin. Get it about level, which is about there. Come down to there. That's where our orbit would be. If we fire directly east, our orbit would go along there, which is not where we want it, because we want it to go going down. I want it to be over there. So I need to wait for Kerbin to spin around a bit. Luckily, we do have pylons, so yep, we're going to get loads of power from them. Got a weird frame rate, like we're already in physics time warp here, which is not physics time warp. We're in. It's yellow. It's yellow. The sign yellow means it's skipping frames rate. It's really strange. Maybe trees are just more intensive than anything else. Don't know. But yeah. So that's what I want to do. I need to basically do that. And I need to wait for the craft to appear here. So if I fast forward time to get Kerbin to spin around on us a bit. Yeah, I'll wait for that to be just on the edge of the planet up here. Turn it down a bit more. So somewhere like that. I'm just saw the world turn backwards then. That's really scary. The Kraken is up to something. Kraken is definitely up to something somewhere. Right. Okay, so let's launch and head east. Which should be easy. I have tilted the craft. I do it for most of my crafts. When I finish building them and I've put everything together, I grab them and tilt them ever so slightly to the right. Just a little tiny bit, just using the rotate tool. The whole craft is rotated ever so slightly. So when you launch, you see here, it automatically puts the prograde marker just to the right. So if I want to, when I'm quite low down and I know everything's safe, I can just hit prograde and it will lean over on its own. That's a little trick I kind of learned to do with it. You have got to turn off the rotation snap, or the snap thing to do with it, and turn it, because if you have the snap on, it snaps it to like about 10 degrees or so, and that's normally too far. You end up catching the launch pylons on launch. But yeah, so we can go up to about 2 kilometers or so, and then probably point prograde, sorry, and we will go prograde. In fact, it's that way. It's yeah, that way. So that way's north. So very, very strange. The Woomrang site is not square on. It comes on at an angle. It's weird. It's like it's rotated 45 degrees or so. But yeah, I will get this up into orbit and see if my calculations are correct. I really hope they are. See any reason why they wouldn't be correct. I think I've done things right, but we will get up into orbit. We will see what happens, and I'll see you once we're up there. And here we are in orbit. It's not a perfect orbit. We're 80 and 160, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. it's slightly off as well. If I actually go here and try and line these all up, those there. See, it's not quite correct, but I'm okay with that. It's correctable. It's fixable. So if I was to add a maneuver and zoom that out down there, so we basically, wow, yeah, something like that. Oh, not quite breaking carbon sphere of influence, and then I think, no, I might have to change my inclination actually. I think my inclination is wrong. We have just passed that node there. What do I need to do to get my inclination correctly? Let's have a look, see here. Ascending node. We have to fire normal? Oh, 400. Ooh, that's a lot. Anti-normal. I do have that in this tank, I believe. What have we got left in this tank here? Yeah, we've got 2,000 meters a second left in this tank, so that's okay. I would kind of like to use that to boost me out there, to get somewhere close to it. I didn't plan to have that much left here, but I thought, well, you know what? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So if we do that, if I just fire, I'm going to turn that off. Just fire that. Oh dear. Oh, I want to set you as a target, please. Get the ascending node to be as absolutely close to 0 as possible. Right, 3.5. And I don't have a descending node, which does kind of make sense, I suppose. Walk around here. Try it again. Because you can't get the ascending or descending nodes perfectly lined up if you're not firing at one of them. So I need to be firing pretty much opposite that one, which I think I am now. Oh, I need to fire the opposite way. Bring ourselves around. I did remember to put massive reaction wheels on this, and I do have a nuclear reactor. I'll turn that on, fire it up at about 10%. At 100% it can fire all of the ion engines up to that'll do, that's close enough for me. Right. Yeah, if right, at 100% it can fire all the ion reactor engines I have at about 85% power, so that's going to be pretty good. We'll be able to fire away and not have to worry too much about it. Look at that, we're getting a very close encounter down there. I'll bring that back a bit. We do 810. $40, 20, 16, 15. Ooh, look at that. 1,000 kilometers away. Seems like quite a bit. But then if I increase my... Ooh, need to come back just a little bit there. Like so. And then all I'm doing is clicking. I'm not actually moving, I'm clicking and holding on the node. And because our orbit is going around, it actually changes when you're going to fire it, because time is passing. Oh, and if I move the mouse, you see it does that. Four, 3, 8, 9, 8, 7. So we're not going to quite get there, but that's okay, because when we get down to here, we can fire the engine along, push ourselves closer to it, to extend our orbit out, because obviously our periaps is too low at the moment, so we'll be coming back too quickly. So when I'm down there, I want to increase our periaps up to there to get it all working. So that's awesome. That is in 18 days. Oh, our apparatus will be 18 days and then we'll capture it 25 days later. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Right, so let's go and do this maneuver. It should be roughly prograde. But will be prograde when we get there. I also want to rotate the craft around so up is up. So, right. Okay, let's go over to our maneuver. What's next maneuver? Which is only in 20 minutes time. Of course I didn't. Oh, I didn't leave stability assist as it was. If you have it on prograde or retrograde, the craft just stays facing the way it is, whereas if you have it on stability assist, the craft rotates with the planet it's going around. Do you know, I'm not sure how that works on the ISS. In real life, does it... Is down on the ISS always down? Is that how it actually works in real life? If you have a like an object here, that is pointing towards Kerbin. If that was to just rotate around the planet, would it just stay pointing that way, or would it rotate with the planet? I suppose it would. I suppose it would rotate with the planet because of gravity, how gravity works. Its forward momentum is always, you're always falling, you're just moving fast enough that way to never actually fall into the ground. You fall over the horizon and go around again. I know the ISS has to boost itself up every now and then, so. But I've missed my target, but it doesn't matter. You're fine, sorry, I'm waffling about stuff there. Amazing what KSP makes you think about. So yeah, let's burn this off. They've got a lovely Rhino engine here. They are really fantastic for space. 2,000 kilonewtons of thrust in a vacuum. Really, really, really good second stage engines. I'm just going to stay putting in prograde here. I'm not going to follow the marker. Don't need better pilots or better probes for that. Okay, see here. Let's go around. But ooh, too far. Way too far. I do have RCS on this. Got a tank of RCS at the top with some thrusters on it, so in case we need them for more manoeuvring. Because you never quite know what's going to come along. Let's cut your thrust right down to like 2% or something. Let's fire up nice and gently. Try and get back into Kerbin's sphere of influence. Close, getting close. Here we go. Right, now let's try and just manoeuvre that to get it down to, what was it, about 4 kilometres? 4,000 kilometres, sorry. Oh, it's got to go down to 13, 12, 11. It is still dropping. Three kilometres? 3,000 kilometres? Oh, 2,500 kilometers. There you go. That's good enough for me. Okay. And we shall go round to there and see what happens. I am getting warnings from our moon station, that our moon mining rig, that some Kerbals are getting stressed, but seeing as stress just causes them to eat something or drink something or lose something, I'm not all that worried about it, because launching a craft to actually rescue them and bring them back again kind of defeats the object of them making fuel. Although that's going to be redone at some point, because it's not how I expected. We need a bigger refueling station. But anyway, that is going to have to wait until the next episode. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Hope to see you again next time. And until then, as always, have fun.